Hello, True Crime Nation. Welcome back to Odin Code Crimes. I'm your host, Melissa. So just a quick disclaimer. I try my best to fact check all of the information that I give you, but because some of these cases are really old and the investigations are ongoing, there may be a mismatch with what I tell you today and what you see tomorrow. So just keep in mind if there's any major updates to the investigation, I'll create a new video and get you updated as soon as possible. So let's go ahead and look at our next case. So today we're going to look at the disappearance of Crystal Rogers, and she was from Bardstown, Kentucky. Now this one particularly hits close to home because Bardstown is maybe 3.5 hours from where I live, and it has consumed our state since 2015. Crystal Marie Rogers was loved by everyone, her friends, her family, and especially her 5 children. Now she was last seen by her boyfriend Brooks Houck on his family's farm. The next day, her car was found abandoned on the Bluegrass Parkway with her purse, keys, and everything with it, and the car had a flat tire. Now, despite extensive searches by the police, even to this day, her body has never been found. So from the onset of the investigation, her boyfriend Brooks Houck was the primary suspect. Now, if you were to come to Kentucky in Louisville, Lexington, Bowling Green, all the way to Pikeville, and you ask what happened to Crystal Rogers and who was involved, the first response is going to be Brooks Houck. However, the police can't go on what we think. They have to have proof, and they did not have it to make an arrest, but he has always been considered the prime suspect, and that hasn't changed. In a shocking twist, a little over a year after Crystal disappeared, so she disappeared in July of 2015, on November 19th of 2016, her father, Tommy Ballard, was shot and killed. Now, what makes this so strange and not coincidental is he was relentless in his search for Crystal. So whoever did it wanted him gone so they could keep their secret hid and not be exposed. Once the news broke that Mr. Ballard had been killed, the consensus still was among the state, Crystal's family, and the police that Brooks Houck had something to do with it. However, they still had no proof, and therefore he was not arrested. Now let's fast forward to September of 2023. There was an arrest made of a suspect named Joseph Lawson in Nelson County, and that is the same county that Bardstown is in here in Kentucky. And he was charged with conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with physical evidence. Just a little bit later, after Lawson is arrested, Brooks Houck is arrested, and he's charged with murder and tampering with physical evidence. After Lawson's arrest, there was a lot of questions that came up about a video interview between Houck and the police in 2015, where Brooks Houck mentioned another man with the last name of Lawson. And then during that interview, investigators asked Houck about the phone call between him and the man named Steve Lawson on the night of Rogers' disappearance. Now, Houck can be heard telling the detective that Steve Lawson worked for him. Now, here's where it gets weird. During the interview, Houck calls Steve Lawson back and asks him to recount what they talked about that night. You don't remember what you talked about that night. I mean, I don't get that. I'm sure the police didn't get that. Everybody's confused, but okay, you don't remember. During that call, Steve Lawson said that Houck had told him that he'd call Crystal Rogers about something work-related. Now, what didn't set right with the police is because Houck had told them that she was sitting right next to him when he made the phone call to Lawson. And the police proceed to ask him, why would you have to call her about this if she's sitting in the seat next to you? You can just look over and ask her. There was no need to make that phone call. And Houck responds, and I quote, "Being that late at night, we're headed to the house. I just wouldn't. She's normally's not going to deal with stuff that late." But that still doesn't answer the question, why did you have to call her? she's sitting right next to you. So this whole thing isn't making sense or setting right with police, and it's really got them thinking after Lawson was arrested. According to police records, Steve Lawson has a son named Joseph Lawson, but police have not released any information to say for sure that the Joseph Lawson they have in custody is Steve Lawson's son. And they're not really defining the connection between Brooks Houck, Joseph Lawson, and Steve Lawson and what happened to Crystal the night of her disappearance. The arrest of Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson is a major step forward in finding out what happened to Crystal the night that she disappeared. However, there's still a lot of unanswered questions that hopefully federal investigators will get the answers for. The community and the family of Crystal Rogers hope that these developments will finally lead to justice for Crystal and her father. Now, as this case continues to unfold, I will continue to follow the story closely, and I will provide updates as they become available. Please click that like button and share this video to get the word out there. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that when any updates come in, you'll know immediately. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.